Let me ask you something that might sound strange at first. What if the pain in your knees had nothing to do with your age and everything to do with what you were eating for breakfast? I know that sounds hard to believe, but the truth is there are 5 everyday foods, probably in your kitchen right now, that could be slowly destroying the cartilage, joints, and tissues that keep your knees strong and flexible. These are not rare or exotic items. They are common. Some even carry health labels. But they are quietly creating the perfect storm inside your body, and it often starts showing up in your knees first. Most people over 60 never suspect their food. They assume the stiffness or pain in their knees is just a part of getting older, that it comes from wear and tear, or maybe from an old injury. But science is telling us something very different. Research from leading U.S. health agencies, like the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, now shows that inflammation is a major cause of joint pain. And inflammation often starts with what we eat. When you eat certain foods, especially those high in refined sugar, processed oils, or additives, your body sees them as threats. In response, it releases chemicals that trigger inflammation. Over time, that inflammation does not just go away. It builds up, especially in the joints. Think of it like rust in your car's engine. You may not see it at first, but eventually things start to slow down, creak, and even break. And for your knees, the largest joints in your body, that means stiffness, swelling, and pain. Sometimes it even means damage to the cartilage, which cushions your bones. Without that cushion, simple movements like walking, climbing stairs, or playing with your grandkids can become painful. But here's the good news. You can take control of this. By identifying the foods that quietly stir up inflammation and making small, smart swaps, you can start to calm your joints from the inside out. This is not about giving up everything you love. It's about learning what helps your knees and what hurts them so you can stay active, independent, and doing the things you enjoy. And today, I'm going to show you the top 5 foods that might be making your knee pain worse, even if they look healthy on the label. Let's start with something no one really talks about. The first food that could be damaging your knees? Refined breakfast cereal, especially the kind that claims to be heart healthy or fortified with vitamins. You might see words like whole grain or low fat on the box, and it may feel like a smart choice. But what you don't see is the blood sugar spike it causes within minutes of eating it. Let me introduce you to someone. Her name is Barbara. She's 67 years old and lives just outside Chicago. Barbara used to start every day with a bowl of bran flakes, a splash of skim milk, and a sliced banana. She truly believed she was doing the right thing. But by mid-morning, she felt tired and foggy. She would forget where she put her keys. Sometimes she would walk into a room and forget why she was there. And slowly, her knees began to ache. Just getting up from the couch started to feel like a chore. She chalked it up to aging. But then she went to a community health talk at her local church, and what she learned changed everything. The speaker explained that many breakfast cereals, even the ones labeled healthy, are highly processed and full of refined carbohydrates. These turn into sugar in the bloodstream almost immediately. That sudden spike in blood sugar triggers your body to release insulin, and along with it, inflammatory chemicals like interleukin-6, which attack the joints. Barbara made one simple change. She swapped her cereal for a bowl of steel-cut oats, topped with cinnamon and chopped walnuts. No added sugar, no crash, no flare-ups. And after just 2 weeks, the swelling in her knees went down. She felt clearer, steadier, and more energized. Her joints didn't feel perfect, but she was finally moving without pain. So if you're eating boxed cereal every morning, even the ones that seem safe, take a moment and check the label. Look for added sugars, processed grains, and unfamiliar ingredients. If the list looks more like a chemistry set than a food, it may be time to try something else. A warm bowl of oats with healthy fats and natural spices is a great way to start the day, and your knees will thank you. Always check with your doctor or a nutritionist before making changes, especially if you have diabetes or take medication. Now, let's talk about something hidden in nearly every pantry in America. Vegetable oils, especially soybean oil, corn oil, and canola oil. These oils are cheap, widely used, and often labeled as heart healthy. But for people over 60, they can quietly fuel inflammation and joint damage, especially in the knees. Let me tell you about George. He's 72 and retired from the post office in Tallahassee, Florida. George loves to cook,
On most days, you'll find him in the kitchen whipping up stir-fries, baked chicken, or even fried green tomatoes. He thought he was doing everything right, using lean meats, lots of veggies, and healthy cooking oils. But the pain in his knees kept getting worse. It started with a little stiffness in the morning. Then came the popping sounds when he bent down. Eventually, George had to give up his Saturday morning pickleball games because the swelling was just too much. When his daughter brought him to a wellness workshop, a dietitian reviewed the oils he was using. She explained that most vegetable oils in the U.S. are highly refined and rich in omega-6 fatty acids. While omega-6 fats are not bad on their own, the typical American diet is overloaded with them, and that throws the body out of balance. Too many omega-6s compared to omega-3s, the fats found in salmon, flaxseed, or walnuts, can lead to chronic inflammation. That inflammation builds up in the joints, especially in weight-bearing areas like the knees. George was shocked. He had no idea the oil in his pantry could be part of the problem. He switched to extra virgin olive oil, which is rich in anti-inflammatory compounds. He also started baking and steaming more instead of frying. Within a month, he noticed a real change. The pain eased up, his range of motion improved, and last month, he was back on the pickleball court, smiling, moving, and feeling like himself again. So, here's what you can do. Check your pantry. If your cooking oil says vegetable oil, canola, or soybean oil, consider replacing it with extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil. They're available at most grocery stores, including Walmart or Kroger. Small changes like this can make a real difference over time. And as always, check with your doctor or a nutritionist before making dietary changes, especially if you have high blood pressure or take medications. Now, here's one that surprises almost everyone. Diet sodas and the artificial sweeteners inside them may be doing more harm to your knees than you think. They promise zero sugar, 0 calories, and sometimes even 0 guilt. But studies from U.S. research institutions have found that certain artificial sweeteners, like aspartame and sucralose, can trigger an inflammatory response in the body. Meet Linda. She's 65 and lives in Phoenix, Arizona. Linda has always been mindful of her weight. She drinks diet soda every day, sometimes 2 or 3 cans to avoid sugar. She walks at the mall, watches her salt, and even attends a weekly yoga class. But despite all her efforts, her knees remain swollen and sore, especially after sitting for long periods or getting out of bed in the morning. She assumed it was just arthritis, something that comes with age. But one day her physical therapist asked about her eating habits. When Linda mentioned her diet soda habit, the therapist raised an eyebrow. She explained that although these drinks are sugar-free, artificial sweeteners can interfere with the gut, causing something called gut dysbiosis, which means the good bacteria in your belly are out of balance. This imbalance can cause your immune system to overreact, releasing inflammation throughout your body, especially in your joints. Linda decided to try something different. She swapped out her daily soda for unsweetened iced tea with lemon, and she also added a small amount of raw honey or stevia when she craved a little sweetness. Both are gentler on the body. Within 2 weeks, she noticed less stiffness in the mornings. Her knees felt less puffy, and her energy came back. She was even able to walk the entire mall loop without stopping to rest. The takeaway? If you're drinking diet sodas to avoid sugar, that's understandable, but beware that artificial sweeteners may be causing more inflammation than you realize. Instead, try herbal teas, infused water with cucumber or berries, or even sparkling water with a splash of real juice. As always, talk to your doctor or a registered dietitian before making any major changes, especially if you're managing diabetes or blood sugar.
This next one is something many seniors rely on for quick meals, especially lunch. Packaged deli meats like ham, turkey, bologna, or salami. They are easy to find, easy to prepare, and seem like a convenient source of protein. But what is hiding inside those plastic-wrapped slices could be contributing to joint pain and inflammation, especially in your knees. Let me introduce you to Earl. He is 74 and lives in Des Moines, Iowa. Earl used to make the same sandwich every day for lunch. White bread, a couple slices of deli turkey, some mayo, and a slice of cheese. It was easy, familiar, and he figured it was better than fast food. But over time, his knees began to ache, not just after walking, but even while sitting. He started skipping his morning walks with his wife. Getting in and out of the car became more difficult. And climbing stairs? That was completely off the table.
Then during a checkup, his doctor asked what he had been eating. When Earl mentioned his sandwich habit, the doctor nodded and explained something surprising. Most deli meats, even the ones that say lean or low fat, are packed with preservatives like nitrates and nitrites. These chemicals help extend shelf life and improve color, but they also trigger inflammation in the body. Some research even links them to joint flare-ups, headaches, and other long-term issues. Earl was shocked. He had no idea those meats could be making his pain worse. He made a few small changes. He switched to grilled chicken breast or tuna with olive oil. He used whole grain bread and added leafy greens and avocado for flavor and anti-inflammatory power. And the result? After just 3 weeks, Earl could feel the difference. The tightness in his knees eased up. He started walking again, slowly at first, then longer each day. Last month, he and his wife even took a weekend trip to the lake, something they had not done in years. So here's what you can do. If you eat deli meats regularly, try cutting back. Look for fresh, minimally processed proteins like grilled chicken, salmon, or even boiled eggs. And if you do buy packaged meats, choose brands labeled nitrate-free and check the ingredients list carefully. Be sure to check with your doctor or nutritionist before making dietary changes, especially if you have kidney disease or are on a sodium-restricted diet. This last one catches a lot of people off guard because it is something many of us eat with the best intentions: flavored yogurt, especially the kind labeled low-fat or fat-free. It sounds healthy. After all, yogurt has calcium and probiotics, right? But here's the hidden problem. Most flavored yogurts are loaded with added sugar, sometimes more than a slice of cake. And for aging joints, especially your knees, that sugar can quietly stoke the flames of inflammation. Let me tell you about Diane. She is 69 and lives in Asheville, North Carolina. Every morning, Diane had a light strawberry yogurt cup with her breakfast. It was part of her routine. She even kept a little cooler in the car when she went on day trips so she could have her yogurt on the road. But her knees were not cooperating. She felt sharp twinges when getting up from the couch, and her evening walks had turned into short, stiff strolls. She had no idea her favorite yogurt might be part of the problem. One day her granddaughter, who's studying nutrition, asked if she had looked at the label. Diane had not. But when she checked, she was shocked to see nearly 18 grams of added sugar in that tiny cup. Her granddaughter explained that even light or fit yogurts are often sweetened with cane sugar or high fructose corn syrup, both of which can cause a spike in blood sugar and an increase in inflammatory markers, especially in people over 60.
Diane made a small but powerful change. She switched to plain Greek yogurt and added fresh blueberries, a sprinkle of flax seeds, and a dash of cinnamon. No added sugar, just natural, joint-friendly ingredients. Within a few weeks, she noticed the difference. The tightness in her knees started to fade. Her balance felt better. She even started attending a local dance class again, something she had not done in years. So what can you do? If you enjoy yogurt, do not give it up, but be picky. Choose plain, unsweetened versions. Greek yogurt is especially good because it is high in protein and lower in lactose. Then sweeten it yourself with fresh fruit or a small drizzle of raw honey. And remember, talk to your doctor or registered dietitian if you are managing diabetes, lactose intolerance, or a special diet. Now you know the truth. Sometimes the pain in your knees is not from getting older. It is from the hidden inflammation caused by what you put on your plate. We talked about 5 everyday foods: breakfast cereal, vegetable oils, diet sodas, deli meats, and flavored yogurts. Each one seems harmless. Some even look healthy on the label. But inside your body, they can stir up inflammation, break down the cartilage in your joints, and slowly rob you of your ability to move freely. But here's the good news. You do not need to overhaul your entire life. Just one small change at a time. A switch to plain Greek yogurt, a bottle of extra virgin olive oil, or a bowl of oats can reduce the inflammation that causes knee pain. Imagine walking down the street without aching, bending down to garden, chasing after your grandkids, or dancing again, not with stiffness or fear, but with confidence. That is possible, and it starts with what you choose today. You deserve a body that supports your dreams, not one that holds you back.
If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you have your own story about knee pain or what worked for you, I would love to hear it in the comments. We read everyone. Together, we are building a stronger, healthier, more active life, one smart choice at a time.